I love how much of the rat they embraced.
Fatality.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Wake Up 3. You've reached round 52, and I'm your host Molly.
And I'm your host Cam, and this is a fighting game podcast from a couple who loves fighting games.
That is right, and if you know us, you know that we're starting off with a mix-up, which is going to be me today. I'm here to bring some, I would say some classic Molly mix-ups back here, so... Let's see if Cam's ready for that. So over the weekend, we had a offline event, which means I have some character usage and top 8 talk for you. Yeah, I wanted to highlight this event because we just got some news recently from East Coast Throwdown that they're not going to have one this year. So with that event kind of entering a hiatus, it seems that grassroots events are more important now than ever, and that's what this event that took place over the weekend was.
Okay.
This was DIY NYC, and this was the first one. It took place over 2 days, so it was a Saturday-Sunday event, and it featured 4 games.
Oh, cool. Okay. I knew City of the Wolves was there. I guess I would assume Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear, Tekken.
Nope. Yep.
Okay. MK.
Nope.
What's the fourth?
The final game on the lineup was actually Third Strike, which I thought was cool.
Doubling up on the Street Fighter.
Yeah, a little notable there.
Cool.
And there was actually a dog at a Third Strike cabinet there, so that was cool. I want to talk about just 2 of the 4 games top 8. So of course I want to talk about City of the Wolves because it's new in the tournament scene, and it's very exciting when a new game is, unfolding in offlines before your eyes and just seeing what people are doing right off the bat and where character usage is going. So, Cam, the City of the Wolves top 8 was actually pretty diversified. There was just 1 repeat character.
Oh.
Can you guess who it was?
Was it Hotaru?
It was not.
Was it Kevin?
No.
Hakudamaru?
Yes. That is so funny that you
Say
said
that
it.
so.
And the other game that I wanted to talk about here in the mix-up was Street Fighter 6. Once again, for the Street Fighter 6 top 8, there was only 1 character who managed to be used twice. So can you guess who that was?
I'm not sure. Maybe Ken.
I think a little closer to home for Street Fighter right now.
Ryu.
Mai.
What?
2 Mai.
I'm way off.
The winner actually played Mai, and that was Space Boy. So Space Boy went away with the top prize there, and then the other Mai player was the bookend, and they also played Chun-Li. So that was the one person that switched or used more than one, and that was iDrop. I guess iDrop dropped Chun-Li in favor of Mai, which can't blame you.
Fair, yeah.
I really can't blame you. I guess I'll just run through the rest. I pretty much just wanted to see if you could guess who was used the most.
I can't believe I didn't guess Mai.
In second place was a Kimberly player, Shine.
Oh, cool.
Them.
Yeah, I've been watching his Hakudamaru streams lately.
And then third place was a Cammy player, Wet Kunai.
Okay, I'm sorry, that took me off guard.
Fourth place was Zangief, played by NY Mando. Then 5th and 6th was Eda Nakuma, and 7th, 8th, Marisa, and then, Chun-Li Mai, as we said.
Right.
Honestly, quite a vibrant top 8 for Street Fighter 6. It's cool to see Zangief hanging out in the top 4, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fun to see him every once in a while. It's not every day you see a Zangief in the top area.
Yeah.
And you kind of just want him to walk forward and do something cool, you know?
Okay, well, that was pretty much it. I don't know, did you survive the mix-up?
I feel like I kind of died at it.
Then I guess you're in the corner.
Oh, man. All right, well, let's start the news corner here. Let's start with Elena. So we got the Elena gameplay trailer finally, and I know you're the big Elena fan in this household, so let's get your thoughts on it.
I really enjoyed it, and I enjoy everything I'm seeing from Street Fighter 6 Elena. They do show off the classic outfit too.
I love it. Yeah, it looks great.
Looks good.
It looks nice. That's cool. Her hair looks really good. Outfit 1's a little bit choppy in the front, but, you know, I like the rest of it, so I think I can deal with that.
All of her, like, moves and movement looks really good.
It does.
I feel like the effects that they have on her, I don't even know. I don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't really know exactly what's going on there.
It just looks like she has this extra glow.
Sure. Yeah, I do know what you mean, because it almost looks like she's in like a constant state of drive rush when she's doing certain kick strings, and it's like kind of scary. That's all I thought of. It's like, why is she in drive rush for this entire combo? This isn't good.
Another fun thing about Elena's trailer was the fake out. So
Definitely.
You kind of get through the whole trailer thinking, they kind of didn't address one thing that everyone was wondering if Elena would have in Street Fighter 6.
Healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they catch ya. They get you with that end credit scene.
That was really fun. Yeah, I like the way they did that.
And then the speculation began, of course, immediately as to how healing is going to work. And I think people have pretty much come to the conclusion that it's going to be, you know, a one or the other type thing on her level 2.
Probably level 2, yeah. It seems that way. It seems like you'll be able to either choose extra damage at the end of a combo or just healing.
Yeah, which
that's cool.
Sounds pretty cool. It doesn't sound like it will be too much of a threat. I don't know, but I love a character that can heal.
Yeah, definitely. It frustrates people.
Yeah, but yeah, other than that, I think she looks great. I really have no complaints.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really an Elena player, so, you know, take that for what you will. But I mean, she looks cool. She looks like a threat, that's for sure. A little bit worried to fight her, honestly, because she looks like she's gonna be tough, and it's gonna be the start of a brand new season with a whole bunch of changes. So, yeah, there's gonna be a lot to learn.
Tell me this: do you think after Elena's release that you'll see? Just give me a percentage. What are the chances that you'll see people saying, this is ridiculous, Elena's changed the game?
You mean like what they did with Mai?
Yeah.
Probably like 100%.
100%? Okay.
Probably,
okay.
Yeah. You'll see someone say it for sure.
All right. We'll check in with you on that in June.
So next up, let's talk about SNK a little bit. They just recently announced the prize pool for SNK World Championship at the end of the year. And it's a big one. It's the biggest ever. I guess let's start with the main game, City of the Wolves. The new Fatal Fury game, they've announced that the prize pool is going to be $2.5 million, with $1.5 going to the winner. And not only that, but they are also doing a $1 million prize pool for King of Fighters 15 and $500,000 for Samurai Shodown 2019. Overall, between the 3 games, there's a prize pool of $4 million.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Lot.
It's going to be an exciting weekend when they're playing all those games. It's going to be one to watch out for.
You were blown away by City of the Wolves, right?
Absolutely.
Were you expecting that?
No, I didn't expect that. I thought, I honestly didn't even think that they would match the Street Fighter one. I thought, maybe if they do, it would be that. But to exceed it with 1.5 for the winner is crazy.
It really feels crazy. So yeah, that was a huge reveal. But then I feel like even more interesting to me was the boosts for KOF and Samsho, because I love Samsho, but I always feel like it's just too underrepresented to, get a big spotlight or whatever. But SNK has stepped out here and said, we're back.
It seems like they're showing up in a big way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, a 6-year-old game with a $500,000 prize pool is insane.
Mm-hmm. So I love to see it. And it's already injected a lot of life. I feel like City of the Wolves in itself already injected a lot of life back into, I think, the old SNK community, maybe the people that were kind of taking a back seat, which is cool. I think it's really waking up, dormant parts of the FGC that needed to see the light again.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's really cool.
It is.
I know before I was a little confused by the SNK ad campaign, but I think it's just starting to make more sense.
I think so. I mean, I think at this point they want the game to be known. They want it in the public eye. I kind of feel like almost in a way where it's like, oh yeah, I keep seeing that Fatal Fury. There it is again.
Yeah.
There it is in this other thing that I like. At this other sporting event or whatever. So eventually you're going to keep seeing these sponsorships and you're going to just think like, well, I got to get this game. I might as well get it. It's at my boxing match. It's at my WrestleMania,
Yeah. I think those crossovers confused me before, but it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
The more you think about it and the more you take your own bias out of it, because I'm not really in those communities, but I know that those cross over extremely well with fighting games. If you love wrestling, you're more apt to like a fighting game. So it's like a simple crossover, but a one that makes a lot of sense.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like they're trying to cover a lot of area because not only that, they're also using YouTubers in some of their ad campaigns. They've just been doing so much, so.
Which leads us to the most recent huge thing that they did. No, I'm not talking about the double-decker buses in London.
Although that's true.
Although that did happen too. Most recently, they had a huge thing.
A huge thing. Are you talking about WrestleMania or the boxing match in Times Square? Because either way, those are both huge.
Yeah, either way, it answers the question. But most recently was the Times Square match, which looked insane.
It did. It was outdoors. It was in Times Square and all over the place, lit up on buildings. You could see T-Zoc, like the size of, I don't know, it looked like it was 50 feet high.
Yeah, the pictures and it being at night just made it like crazy looking, and honestly really fitting for the aesthetic of City of the Wolves to be bright and just in your face. And Salvatore was there. Surprise!
Yeah, he was just hanging out there. I don't think he even had anything to do with it necessarily. He was just there.
Finally in news, MK won with some views because there was a pro comp stop in Brazil.
That is right. It was it the first pro comp stop? Or no, Mexico was the first pro comp. This might be the second one, and it sounds like it had a huge turnout and huge viewership. It seems like there were a lot of upsets this time around. There were some 15 and 16-year-old kids that went extremely far, making it into the top 8. And that's pretty cool because we are getting some new blood in the NRS scene. Something that we haven't really gotten in quite a few years.
Anybody that can dethrone Sonic Fox, you just pat yourself on the back forever. Honestly, because
that's
not
a lot of people.
Not an easy feat. No one's been able to do it for a long time. So I think it's safe to say the talent in the South America region for MK is soaring.
Definitely.
And unmatched. Number one. There's a lot of talk of, pro comp needs to be in Brazil. So we'll see. That would be cool.
People were saying that after the Mexico City stop as well. So it sounds like, they're taking it seriously.
I think now especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last year it was in Canada. That was weird.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, that is weird. So
why not? Yeah, Canada didn't need it.
Sorry to our Canadian listeners.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you Maple Leaf. All right, we're going to move right into the episode now, which is a whole lot of City of the Wolves. That's right, last time we talked about Mark of the Wolves because we needed to give Mark of the Wolves its flowers, Mm-hmm. It was there for 26 years, just holding the franchise up.
Yeah, they figured they would wait that long because they just didn't need to release another Fatal Fury. That was still...
Yeah, they were right.
People were still playing it, so why release another one? They were right. But here's the time. The time is now. It's City of the Wolves, and it is here.
And it takes place 2 years after Mark of the Wolves storyline, so it's supposed to be set in the year 2008, but the game itself did arrive if you pre-ordered on April 21st, or if you bought it, like a regular Terry.
Like a bum?
It came out April 24th for $60, which includes the first season of DLC, which is 5 extra characters. 5!
Yeah. Plus a Terry Bogard skin.
That's right. Honestly, it's what I would wear if I played Terry, but it doesn't matter. All right, so let's get into our first discussion here, which is our initial impressions of the game. I think you kind of already know we're really into it. We played both the betas.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I think initial impressions, personally, I would say very high. I think I would rate it very highly right off the bat. And I do want to say that the very first thing we did when we loaded up the game was immediately just go into versus mode and play each other with a couple of the characters we weren't able to play with either of the betas. Mm-hmm.
First, I was very interested in playing Dong. You already know if you listened to last ep.
You're a big Dong fan.
Big Dong lover.
Jesus.
Yeah, you can find, that's my wolf ID, actually. No, it's not. Wolf tag, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Really neat.
Like your Capcom ID, but with a wolf.
Yeah, so the first characters I chose were Dong. I also wanted to try out Salvatore.
Yeah.
And
Marco?
I didn't play Marco.
No, he was one of the first couple of people that I tried out. I feel like he might have been like third.
Gato.
Gato.
I'm blanking. I definitely tried Gato.
Yeah.
Gato is one that I was kind of looking forward to for a while. Even though he's really not one of my top picks when I play Mark of the Wolves. But
yeah,
I think, we'll get into it, but I think he's pretty cool in this one. I mean, Billy. I tried Billy. I tried Kevin.
You tried out Billy pretty early. Billy was one of the first people that I played. He might have actually been the first one that I picked out once we got into versus.
Dong.
Yeah, I think it might have been Billy versus Dong. But yeah, I think the first like 3-ish people that I played were Billy, Hakudomaru, and probably Marco. So
roster discussion, though. Actually getting our hands on the full game was our first time seeing the roster layout, which is a lot like old Fatal Furies.
Yeah, it's like all of the classic ones and just not like Garo, basically. That's the only one that it's not like. Yeah. So you get to see everybody just kind of grouped together like a group photo, and then you just have to like cycle through and click behind people and figure out where your character is. I think it looks really cool the way they're all kind of grouped together. I do wonder how it'll be with DLC in the future if they put like 15 or 20 extra people in the game and there's suddenly a huge cast.
True. I do wonder how that'll look. Like, that's a good point.
It's going to be tough to figure out where your person is in a group photo of like 45 characters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Something to think about for the future, I guess. But as of right now, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think one really cool feature about this roster is the random outline kind of just looks like geese.
It kind of does. Overall, I think the roster is pretty great. And I don't think anyone is missing except for geese. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. I mean, obviously there are people that are missing and there are people that I would love to have, but as far as a straight up Garo sequel, I think it's got everybody that you would expect and a few extras.
I guess let's break it down in terms of the archetypes that we have present. You've got one Shoto.
Yeah, you've got a single Shoto.
Yep. You've got a single really strong Shoto.
Definitely.
In Marco. And you've got one grappler in Tizak. In terms of other archetypes, we've also got some ninja characters going on with...
Yeah, we've got a bit of that Shiranui style, Hakudomaru and Mai.
Other archetypes present, we've got Kain is kind of just the projectile man.
True, but he's got such good close-up moves that he's actually terrifying. Oh, no. He's like really, really good up close, and he's got long combos, and the fact that he can constantly charge his flash kick means he's always a threat for jump-ins, and he's not just a zoner, he's a nightmare up close as well.
Is there a zoner in this game?
It would definitely be Kain, but I just wanted to highlight that he is a very scary up close person.
Anyone else we need to like mention to sell to those that might feel like, oh, I don't know where my place is in this game if I pick it up. Like, I don't know who I would play.
We've got a couple of people. I feel like the two new characters, the brand new characters that are like originals for City of the Wolves, Preacha and Vox, are really good brawler style where you can kind of just pick them up, hit buttons, and all of their normals seem like they're really good buttons. They're long reaching, they're powerful, and especially with Preacha, they kind of just like dial a combo themselves into like these long strings that look cool. Those are like all-rounders, like brawler type, that kind of thing.
Although I think everyone else playing City of the Wolves right now might say that character is Hotaru.
Yeah, everybody seems to be saying that Hotaru is the true all-rounder. I don't think I've played her at all yet.
I mean, I've played Hotaru enough in Mark of the Wolves. I feel like when I was first playing it, and even in the betas of City of the Wolves, I played Hotaru a lot more. But yeah. I haven't played her since the game came out.
And strangely, that's kind of how I've been with Kain as well, even though he was one of the characters that I liked the most in the betas. And he was one of the characters I was looking forward to playing the most as well. But I think since we're in that like honeymoon phase of the game just being out, I've been more enamored with playing people that weren't in the betas, basically, you know? Because I was able to play Kain twice for like 2 entire weekends, and that was super exciting. But now I'm like, oh, I can play all these new random people. Kevin.
Oh, I forgot to say that you do have one limb zoner.
Yeah.
For anyone looking to play that archetype, you've got Billy.
Did you want to talk about Kevin, since I just kind of mentioned him a little bit?
Does Kevin have a archetype that he would fall under?
I think Kevin is kind of it's tough to say because he's definitely kind of a brawler type, but he's got a few little grabs as well. So it's almost like he's like a strike throw mix up kind of dude. But don't quote me on that because I don't love Kevin in this game. I thought he was cooler in Mark of the Wolves, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is in this one.
The characters that were just in Garo, and just in, I mean like 26 years ago. I want to talk about their glow-ups or glow-downs according to us because, I don't know, that's just kind of fun. So, Dong. I feel like Dong has a slight glow-down. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. I just really like original Dong. Other comparisons. Bijane.
Bijane, I think it's hard to say she had a glow-up because she was already really cool in Garo and everything else she's really been in. She's cool in KOF 15, but regardless, I would still say that it was a glow up. I think her model looks better, and she's got all of her original moves plus a butt parry.
I'm just going to go on record and say Bijane has never had a bad appearance.
True.
So I don't even really think you can call it a glow up. She's just always good.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was having a hard time saying. Like, it's not exactly a glow up, but it still is. Like, she's just better than ever.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Who else can we compare?
Hokutomaru. Yeah, let's talk about him a little bit.
Yes.
What do you think about him? Because I feel like I don't know if it's a glow up either. It's not a glow down, but it's definitely like a shift to the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's cooler in some ways, and then he changed in other small ways where it's like, man.
I agree. Yes, I see exactly where you're coming from. Yeah. Because I feel like his image, is one that changed drastically compared to other people.
Definitely.
Hokutomaru used to be, just 2 years ago in his world, a boy with spiky, unkempt hair and raggedy, torn clothing.
And no shoes.
And a stick. And no shoes, yes.
Yeah, and he had a little wooden sword.
So, in terms of glow-up, like, that's a glow-up. The stick is gone.
Yeah,
he's wearing shoes.
And he's got kind of a swaggy little...
Did they go too far?
Andy protege outfit, I guess.
Is this too much too fast?
I don't know.
It feels like an extreme shift.
It is quite a bit, and I honestly do kind of miss the monkey boy aesthetic a little bit. Like he wasn't from around.
Yeah, like literally on the outskirts of society.
Yeah.
Like
he straight up seemed like he didn't belong around people for a while. But yeah, in this game he seems kind of more like a teen that's in the know, but maybe a little bit clumsy.
Still figuring it out, but playing the part.
All of his moves feel good, but I do miss the stick, the sword. You know?
Yeah.
In Mark of the Wolves, he had a sword that he would use for like 2 moves, and one of them was kind of like an Akuma-style demon flip where he would just slap you with the sword. The other one was his teleport, and he would hit you with it from above. He would teleport above you and slap you with a sword. He still has those moves, they're just visually different. And, I don't know, I just kind of miss the sword a little bit, I guess.
We're kind of on the fence of whether that's... I mean, it's on paper, it's a glow up, but to the character himself, I don't know. I do miss a bit of the monkey boy essence, but I guess we can move on. We'll see. I don't know. We're just going to let that simmer. But I don't have a problem with it at the same time. It's like, I think it looks good.
Yeah, it's a good design for sure.
Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but...
I just miss him being kind of...
I just kind of miss, I miss it.
I just miss him being uncivilized.
Shitty. Moving on to I think what we can outright say is a glow down, Kevin Ryan.
Kevin Ryan, yeah, definitely. I would agree. Part of it is his looks. He's like bulkier, and it seems like personality-wise, he's almost a little bit stupider. Like he's just kind of like arrogant and dumb. Like he's been on, maybe he's been on the force for a bit longer at this point, and he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm the best. And I don't know, maybe that's just not a character trait that I like or I'm drawn to, but I don't love that character-wise. And he feels the same. I mean, I guess gameplay, it's just at the same time it feels like the range might be a bit stubbier, and it is less satisfying to land some of those moves that I love in Garo. Specifically that low kick, that watch your feet move.
Yeah.
That move is so much cooler in Mark of the Wolves.
I agree. Yeah, because I initially tried out Kevin Ryan thinking like, yeah, I'm kind of interested in him because he was actually really cool in Garo.
Yeah, his flame effects were sweet. They looked powerful.
And then I tried him in City of the Wolves and was disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this era of Kevin.
Yeah, like his presence or feel or whatever.
Yeah, he's bulked up in a way that I don't think looks cool.
Yeah,
and
I would agree.
Yeah, the outfit used to look cool in Mark of the Wolves, and now it just kind of looks like dumb to me.
Yeah.
I don't like the way the boots look. I don't think his character model translates well into this style.
Yeah, I do think he looks a lot better sprite-based.
Yes.
He kind of looks dopey when he's big and
there's too much
3D.
Detail.
Yeah.
We don't want to see this much of Kevin Ryan, please.
You were never supposed to see this much Kevin Ryan.
Who else can we compare?
Who else?
Hotaru and Gato, brother and sister. Sister and brother.
Yeah, either way.
They're pretty much the same. Well,
Gato definite glow up. He got a little bit of a design change, not too much. He's got, I mean, it's the same outfit for the most part.
Kind of ripped open the top though.
His chest is exposed instead of being like tightly buttoned up, and his hair is kind of like shaggy and kind of chopped. It looks like. I think it's cool. Plus, now he fights with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was apparently temporarily blinded, but he got better, and then he started getting in fights again and realized, oh wait, I was better when I was blind, so maybe I should just fight with my eyes closed.
I think I can safely say I like Gato's City of the Wolves era that he's in. It's all good, from the look to that part of him,
the aura
to the aura to his gameplay.
His gameplay is another glow up for sure. He's got a really cool back turn stance that was never there before, and it honestly kind of feels like it does everything.
It kind of does. Other Hotaru, let's compare Hotaru. She's pretty much the same.
I feel like she's the same, yeah. She was always good. She was always an all-rounder, solid character, easy to use, very good.
So Hotaru, she's about the same. Like we said, Rock visually is
more or less the same.
Yeah, I can't really say it's like a glow up or much of a change. Just another Rock.
Just another Rock, yeah.
Nothing bad to say there. Terry.
I think Terry's pretty much identical to Mark of the Wolves, right? You think glow down? I think he looks the same.
It's like Kevin Ryan, where I don't want to see this much Terry.
But would you rather see Street Fighter 6 Terry or City of the Wolves Terry?
Street Fighter 6 Terry, because I love how much of the rat they embraced.
Okay, you like how he looks like an oafish.
They're very honest with Terry's design.
Okay, yeah, I could see that for sure.
And I can appreciate that.
They're like, hey, this is a train-dwelling idiot that only knows basketball and getting rides on trains, and I guess raising stray children.
And then Kine. T-Zoc. We gotta talk about them too. T-Zoc?
T-Zoc.
Downgrade.
I think...
But upgrade?
I'm thinking about T-Zoc in a couple of ways right now, and that sounds weird, but I'm thinking about him in relation to Mark of the Wolves, but also to King of Dinosaurs in KOF 14 and 15, because it's technically the same character, just under a different moniker, because it's wrestling. Comparing him to King of Dinosaurs, I think he's pretty cool, you know? I feel like, I don't know, isn't King of Dinosaurs kind of lackluster? Or am I just way off base here?
I don't know. But we are just comparing him to T-Zoc of Mark of the Wolves.
I guess I was just thinking about the 3D model thing, but...
Yeah.
I guess I should just say that I'm not really a grappler.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I guess visually there's really nothing wrong with T-Zoc's version in City of the Wolves, so...
Right. I think, you know...
But Kine, I would almost say it's a glow-up.
You think so?
Visually?
He does look really cool visually.
He looks good.
And I really like his animations, his walk back, his walk forward animation is great. I think it's one of my favorites in the game. Every time he walks forward, even if you just like stop walking and then start up again for a second, he'll just immediately start running his hands through his hair. So
gotta do it.
I don't know. It's fun. I just really like that kind of extra touch that when they put things like that into it. But he feels good too. He's no longer a full charge character, so it's definitely different. But at the same time, it's not like I grew up playing charge characters, so it's not like I can't adjust, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just a little bit different than what I'm used to for Kine, but I think he's really fun. He was one of the characters I was looking forward to playing the most, but I've barely touched him since the game came out.
We could have talked about Billy too, even though he's not in Mark of the
right.
Wolves, because that's a glow down.
Yeah, Billy got a glow down.
Billy is the one character that really makes me hope that they'll give more than just Terry extra skins.
Yeah, definitely.
I need a classic Billy outfit.
Yeah, with those overalls? For sure.
Yes, I'll take anything.
I
because I feel like City of the Wolves Billy is so bad looking.
Yeah, he looks really stupid. He's got like NASCAR glasses on and same haircut as Kevin Ryan. And we don't need that.
Oh my god. Okay.
We gotta have those overalls, no shoes, and bandana. Like, give me that redneck Billy.
Tell me who you started out with and where you're at character-wise right now.
I started out on Billy a little bit. I think I kind of wanted to make it work right off the bat, or at least I was thinking, maybe potentially. I do like him as a character, but I almost immediately realized, like, yeah, once again, Billy Kane's not really for me in terms of gameplay. From there, I tried out a little bit of Kevin, and then same thing, like first match, I'm like, nope, this isn't it. And ever since, I've kind of just been on Hokutomaru ever since the very first time I tried using him, and I've just been more or less on him ever since.
Was that unexpected?
It definitely was. Even when they announced him as the final character for base roster, I was kind of just like, oh, all right, expected, but like, nothing too exciting. As soon as I picked him for the first time, I just kind of fell in love with his moveset. He's got not necessarily everything, because it's not like he has a dive kick or a DP, but he's got everything that you need to be kind of tricky. Mm-hmm. He's hard to pin down. He's got a teleport. He's got a huge variety of projectiles. He's got like 8 different ways to use them. He's got a double jump, which is great. It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen in a 2D fighter. I don't think I've ever played a character that had a double jump. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying him. Ever since the very first time I tried him, I thought, yeah, this is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think unless you're just the right fit for Hokutomaru, looking at his move list is going to either impress you or confuse you.
Yeah, I think so. He has relatively basic specials. He's got a lot of Andy moves and a couple of my moves, kind of, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Nothing that's super standoutish on its own, but the way you can do specific things and use a double jump to just be really obnoxious and then teleport down on them, or you just got to get tricky with them, I guess. Yeah. And that's something that I really enjoy. I am really enjoying him at the moment, and I haven't really played Mai or Kain since the beta for the most part. I've dabbled a little bit against you, but I haven't really put any time into them for real. But that being said, I feel like right now aside from Hokutomaru, I'm most interested in being Mai or Bijane.
Okay.
I'm just kind of feeling the ladies, and I like both of their vibes in this game. They feel really fun, and their break moves specifically feel like they're some of the most satisfying in the game to pull off. Maybe, this time next episode, I will be playing one of them, but as of right now, I'm still kind of in the ninja mindset.
So maybe more so my adjacent.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Where do you think you are right now for characters? Like, what was your process from the beginning until now?
I think I started out playing, in the betas, I played a lot of, I think I really liked Rock.
Yeah, you played a lot of Rock.
Probably a little bit of Hotaru back in the betas. But then when the game came out, I was kind of focused on Tizok. I wanted to play him more because I like to grapple.
Right.
I was excited about playing him, and I was fully on board with trying out Salvatore as well. I was really looking forward to playing him. I was really looking forward to Dong, Gato. And I want to say that was it going in. I was curious about Billy, but I wasn't, holding out any solid hope for him because I've never played Billy in the past, but he was kind of like a question mark. And then once playing the game Tizok, I think I really went in heavy with Tizok, thinking I think I'm gonna he's gonna be my main.
Yeah, you were gonna focus on him. I think that was your first attempted focus character.
Yes. And I don't know. There's just something that doesn't serve my needs as a grappler with Tizok. Not saying that he's not cool or doesn't have basically all the same things that he has in Mark of the Wolves. So you're not really missing anything. But like, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
He's just missing a little bit of flair or something.
I guess the main thing that I have found that really draws me to playing a grappler is 360 moves. So Tizak, he only has like one.
Yeah. Well.
And like a super as well.
Right, he's got that 720 super.
Yeah. So like that's cool, I guess. But I feel like I want more than just one regular move that's a 360.
You want more half circles.
And half circles. Yeah, he doesn't have any of that. I really enjoy the character of Tizak, Yeah,
for sure. His personality is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. His taunts.
Yeah. he has my favorite taunt, the hey hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. He just didn't quite click as much as I had thought he would. And so I kind of dropped him off. But with Salvatore, I think he lived up to the hype of, I'm looking forward to trying him, and he is fun.
Okay.
So Salvatore, he is very different. I have expressed this to Cam that he is very different than any fighting game character I've played before. He has forward and back stances that you do just by pressing forward, back with an action.
Right.
So I've never had that.
Yeah, he's got quite a few stances. He's got like 3 or 4 stances, I think. He only has one actual motion special, so he's very unique.
It's a lot to work with, and it's fun, and it's crazy too, because it's, Salvatore's wacky DJ dance stuff.
Yeah, he's kind of goofy, and a lot of his stuff is just surprisingly good for as goofy as he is.
Yeah, I would say his moveset is unique as well. So
yeah, definitely.
It's not derivative of Duck King. So yeah, I love Salvatore, and I'm glad that he lived up to the hype. Like, I'm still enjoying that character today. So he's one that hung on, but Tizak fell off pretty quickly as soon as I dove into the character really and tried to learn him more. I found that there wasn't enough depth.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Dong, I wouldn't say like I disliked Dong or anything, but I don't think it's stuck yet in a way that feels like, yeah, I want to pursue this. Like, I want to play a lot of Dong.
Right.
But not to say that can't happen. So he's just kind of there. But not really a strong impression, too, I guess.
Gotcha.
And
I think he's fun. I think he's a cool character, but he's also not a character that I was ever extremely drawn to in the past either. So for me, it's just not a go-to is all.
Okay.
I don't know.
Where was I? Okay, so Dong.
Yeah, you're talking on Dong.
And then who else did I say? Billy I tried, and I thought he was, Billy. I did see some potential just because I do tend to like a character with a weapon.
Right. Yeah,
but
you're drawn to that for sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's just something in the back of my mind that's just drawn to that. I think that was pretty much why, because it's not the character model that's drawing me into Billy in this game. So
not until he gets those overalls.
He sort of stuck a little bit. He's kind of fun just because I feel like he's pretty easy.
He's got good buttons for sure.
Yeah.
He's got really good buttons.
Billy's there. I'm kind of playing him a little bit right now, but I don't know if it'll go anywhere. We'll see. And then Gato. Yep. He's pretty cool. I definitely have invested some time in Gato so far. And I do love that Gato and Salvatore kind of cross-train because they both have a lot of stance stuff going on. The way that I was sad about Tizak, like having nowhere much to go as this character, Gato's like the polar opposite. There's a lot.
Definitely.
There's a lot to do with this man.
Oh yeah, he seems like he's got a lot of potential for him. It's gonna be a long time before people have discovered all of his tech.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say about Salvatore that I still don't really understand is he has 2 different forward throws, and I don't know how that works.
Interesting.
But there's 2 different ones. I don't know what the difference is.
I wonder if it depends on whether or not he's wearing his sunglasses, because for some reason his sunglasses fall off sometimes.
It's probably not that.
It's probably not.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for like where I'm at. I would say I'm pretty much focusing on Gato, Salvatore, and then a little bit of Billy, but I'm less serious about him, I think.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I went from Rock and Hotaru to like not playing them at all.
That's
But that's not to say that they're not good. I just picked up other people that I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I absolutely loved Kine in the beta, and I'm looking forward to putting more time into him eventually, but I think the excitement of the full game coming out has got me more interested in playing these people I couldn't play before. So
Right.
I'll definitely go back to Kine, but, you know.
Well, that, I think, covers our character journeys thus far. Let's get into a bit of the single-player content. With City of the Wolves, I didn't know what they were going to do story-wise, but I'm kind of used to, like, games that do a story.
Right.
Which would have been cool, but they do something called Episodes of Southtown.
They did two different story-based things. They did classic arcade, where you kind of go through a ladder of, I think it's 6 or 8 people, and then you get a typical arcade ending. And then they did Episodes of Southtown, where you go through a ton of matches, and you'll have dialogue with different characters that you meet, and that kind of tells a story, and by the end, it's all resolved. And the one that I only played one of them so far, and it took about 5 hours in total. I played Hokuto Mario, and his story was kind of silly. It was really fun and entertaining, so I'm glad I did that one, but in the end, it was like, honestly, kind of nothing. Hokuto Mario's entire story was that Bijane asked him to be her date to like a fancy ball kind of thing, and then takes off, and he's like, oh, I need to figure out how to be a gentleman. I need to figure out how to be the perfect gentleman for Bijane, and I know nothing about that. What do I do? First things first, he goes to Dong to try to be a gentleman, and that doesn't go too well because Dong is kind of a douchebag, honestly.
Yeah, poor choice.
Yeah, not great. And then he asks Preacha, but in doing so, he tries to use some of Dong's pickup moves on her, and, you know, that doesn't go well either, so he just keeps getting himself into trouble, and eventually he goes to Mai and asks for help. He's like, hey, Mai, how do I be a gentleman? And she does laugh at him a little bit, but she's like, you're so sweet. Plus, you're my little protege. Let me just teach you. It all comes from the heart. Just be a nice guy, and, you know, just be polite, and just do your thing. Do what feels right.
And then she devolves into just describing Andy in great detail.
Yeah, that was so funny. She's like, be this. Anyways, he goes and he meets up with Bijane and has a little kind of date thing, and that's it. That's his whole story. So, okay, there you go. And that's the only one I've played so far. So I know that other people have, like, more eventful things that they go through, but Hokuto Mario just kind of went on a date. I would say that first off, it was really enjoyable because of all of the dialogue, and I thought the first round through was really fun. But then, once you've beaten, like, the first round of it, which is pretty quick, it introduces Southtown Plus, which is like a new game plus type of thing. And from there, it was really, really tedious and frustrating because the AI just, like, ramps up to 11, where it's just, like, blocking everything and reading all your inputs, and it was just a little bit more frustrating to play, I guess, because not only that, there wasn't any dialogue at all, so they didn't even reuse the old dialogue on the way through. It was just straight up no dialogue.
So it's not worth playing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that part I was thinking, like, I don't know, am I going to get something for doing this? You get a couple of, like, titles, icons, and patterns for your color edit. So if you don't care about that stuff, it's not worth doing Southtown Plus. But I would say that doing the regular Southtown episodes were pretty cool.
Also, there's some secrets.
Yeah, there are some secret boss fights, and Hokuto Mario did not have to deal with either of these because he was pretty low-key in his story. But some of the other people have to fight. This is a spoiler, so if you don't want to know, walk away. Fallen Rock and Nightmare Geese. And those are both boss characters, and either one, you know, they're going to have some kind of crazy moves. But I do want to say that Nightmare Geese seems kind of normal in comparison to Fallen Rock.
He does.
In that, like, when you see Geese, it's like, okay, all of his moves are good, but they make sense, and they match up with what he's had in the past in his playable forms. Fallen Rock, however, has like absolutely insane things where he can just combo you from full screen or kill you with a one-hit super. One of the moves he does, he just has like a heavy kick that just juggles you up, and if he does that over and over, he can literally just infinite you with a one-button heavy kick. So that's Fallen Rock. He's tough.
Fallen Rock gets to wear the traditional geese outfit.
Yeah.
It's like the first time you see Rock in a different outfit, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think appearance-wise, it wasn't necessarily my favorite thing. I think he looked kind of goofy like that. He's a little thin compared to Geese Howard, so it doesn't look as threatening. But moveset-wise, he's like terrifying. So
yeah.
I don't think he would be the kind of character that they would give you to actually play.
Straight to the bottom row of KOF 2002.
Yeah, the boss row for sure, where it would just be like, yeah, you could play as this character for fun, but it's like banned.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, for sure.
Not allowed. But Geese, Nightmare Geese?
Yeah. I can see it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I could definitely see him showing up because he's got all the classic moves, and yeah, sure, they just look super cool because he's a boss in this game, but they look like it would be the classic Nightmare Geese that we all know and love.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that's pretty much where the story lies for any of the lore hounds out there. The lore hounds of Southtown. This is where you gotta go. Extra modes of the game, because we already talked about the main, source of stories. What else can we do in this game? We've got a jukebox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every song in this jukebox is free, and you get the option to have all of the DJ, versions.
Yeah. They have all these different DJs that they had do custom tracks in the game. I think there's like 19 different custom tracks or something, and some of them are pretty cool. They're honestly like really good. First thing I did with the jukebox was make a Geese Howard playlist that had like 12 different Geese Howard tracks from the entire history of the franchise and some KOF games and all that.
You titled it 4 Geese, right?
I did. Yeah, I titled it 4 Geese.
It's all for geese.
Yeah, it's willing him to this game. Aside from that, there is a color edit mode for your characters where you can go in and change the individual colors of a whole bunch of different pieces of their outfit. Mm-hmm. And
that's been really popular.
It has been. I've been seeing a ton of that.
People seem to be really enjoying the simple things,
Yeah, definitely. Me personally, I'm trying to go with a bunch of actual real life birds for Tizak. So I'm making 10 different birds for Tizak.
I personally like the Jaehoon Memorial section of Dong's wardrobe.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then I've also got, for Hokuto Maru, I've got Mai, Andy, and AG. So as many of the ninjas as I could think of. I feel like you could get a lot of mileage out of it just on its own, because if you like to customize things, then yeah, there you go. It's there for you.
Even though it's a simple thing, there's kind of a lot you can do.
Yeah.
And
Pokemon Trainer Terry Bogard.
Yeah, everyone's making versions of Terry as other people.
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone's just wearing brown jackets.
It's so funny.
Jeans.
Yeah. Kind Terry, Rock Terry.
There's also a gallery mode to top things off pretty much. And then, you can do all the standard online and rooms and all of that too.
Offline,
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Now let's talk about the overall style of the game, which I feel like has been a bit of a not for everybody type thing, it seems. But I'm a big fan of the direction they went with City of the Wolves. I think, the flashiness, and I think the style of the menus, it just fits really well.
It really does. I personally really love the menu style and like the brightness and just like overall graphical effects. I don't know what they've gone for, but like their artistic style. I love the way this game looks. I think it's really cool. I think the visual style is great.
The style, yeah, I can see why it doesn't quite appeal to everyone, because there are some people that would prefer, a more detailed game. This is very thick, heavy lines, like graphical. What I think, and the reason why I think it's a strong choice, is that it very much suits the era that it's trying to portray, of like 2008. Just the vibe. you know?
Yeah, it's got that 2008 vibe from, I mean, honestly, from the music, from the theme song to
yeah,
the overall attitude of a lot of the characters, and yeah, just the aesthetic is, I don't know what it is about it, but
yeah, for me it hits, but I see why some people are like, oh, it doesn't look like as good as it could, or it doesn't look as good as Street Fighter. I don't know.
it's all opinion based.
I think it kind of hangs in with Street Fighter in terms of, a good looking game.
Definitely.
I guess from there, the stages, because we haven't really touched on the stages of this game, but I think they're okay.
I think there's a couple of standout ones for me, and those are usually the ones I'll go to. And aside from that, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just fine.
I used to always choose the Salvatore stage because it has his actual song on it.
Yeah. And all of his little friends from his music videos.
Yeah, that too. And I kind of found that I don't really think any of the stage music is that strong in this game. Like the SNK songs, sadly.
Yeah, but surprisingly. I think they wanted you to really like the DJ ones, which honestly, they're cool.
They did that then, because my favorites are that Salvatore stage because it's his song.
Yeah.
And then the Dark Geese stage because it's another Salvatore song made for this game. So it's not a released song yet. I think I'm a big Salvatore fan.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, whether or not you like the music that's the SNK arranged music or the DJ arranged one, it doesn't matter because you can always customize it to your liking. You can do just a playlist that rotates no matter what stage you select, or you can customize it to each individual stage. And it has all the Art of Fighting stuff in it, but not the Super Nintendo version of Art of Fighting 1, because that soundtrack is different because the Super Nintendo has a different sound card than a lot of other things, and blah, blah, blah. My favorite song, the Mr. Big song from Super Nintendo, is not in it. Molly doesn't like that song.
Yeah, I'm over here just like nodding and smiling.
Yeah. But I'm a Mr. Big enjoyer, and his song is sweet. I love it.
Yeah, you'll get to have Mr. Big soon enough.
Yeah, Mr. Big episode coming in hot 2026.
Oh boy. What do you think your best stages and your worst?
Well, my favorite stages are both of the Geese Howard stages. There's the Howard Tower, basically, the Geese Howard's Tower, whatever. One of them is the dark version, and it's dark because it's at night, but also everything's burning and it looks insane. The other version is, not dark, I guess. But it's covered in American flags for some reason. It's got like a dozen American flags all over the stage. I think that's kind of a fun one too.
What are your least favorite?
Well, my absolute least favorite is the one with the hippo.
The worst stage in the game is my hippo stage because it doesn't... What?
Why is Mai so into hippos these days? It doesn't make sense. One of the patterns you can unlock is hippo themed, and I don't get it. She's never really been associated with hippos before. This isn't like an MK Animality situation. I don't get the hippo thing. It's brand new, as far as I know. I don't know. Please explain.
And also, there's already a zoo stage, and it's insane. But also, like, why do we need a hippo?
Yeah, and the
stage too.
I will say the zoo stage is cool. I like it.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of ostriches on it.
I've never seen a zoo like this.
No, not at all. It's
none.
Being overrun by ostriches. And some of them have like the gun things and saddles that they wear in Metal Slug, so fun little Easter egg for you there.
Yeah, for me, there's really only those couple of stages that I mentioned before that I really like. Everything else is just kind of whatever, and then I don't like the hippo stage too.
I didn't like this stage originally, it's called like the Rocket Science Center or something. I didn't like it initially, but ever since I switched it to the DJ stuff, I actually kind of like that one because the stage itself is kind of fun. It's got this little happy-go-lucky robot that like waves and like smiles and frowns and stuff. So I kind of like just seeing that thing move around in the background.
Yeah, I guess as you were saying that, I was thinking like, oh yeah, like Yuri's Gym is fun.
Oh yeah,
it's a good stage and it has a lot of Easter egg stuff going on.
Definitely.
I'd say that pretty much wraps up our discussion of City of the Wolves at this point in time.
Yeah, I think so.
Before we go, The support for this game in the first week
2
and a
weeks?
half was crazy fast.
Yeah, in the first week and a half.
I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, it was like a lot.
Right. Yeah, in the first week and a half, they released 4 or 5 patches. I don't know that I've ever seen another company react this quickly to these little issues or patches or...
Yeah, definitely not to act this quickly. Like,
right.
I've definitely seen it where they're like, oh, we know this is happening, we'll address it soon.
Right, and then they'll wait until they have a big patch and dump it all at once. But this one's like, oh, it's, it's noon the next day, time to drop a patch, or it's 11 p.m. on a Thursday.
We worked on this at 3 a.m., here you go.
Yeah, one of them literally happened in the middle of the night while we were playing. So, yeah, I think that it's been... pretty impressive, their dedication to this game, but that makes a lot of sense when you consider they're putting $2.5 million into this game alone for SWC.
Yeah, crazy to think about.
Insane. So yeah, they definitely want this to do well, so it makes sense they're giving it all that extra love.
And also, I guess I just want to leave off with where we're personally at feeling about playing the game, because we didn't really talk too much about like that part of it, but I personally have been like a bit overwhelmed with learning this game. I don't think I've picked up a new fighting game where it's felt this daunting. I don't even know when. Probably not since I started trying to play fighting games seriously was it this daunting,
Right,
like,
yeah.
I'm being completely honest, like it's a lot
to
process. And I've also heard this from other people, but like I feel like this game takes all of your focus and more to like stay in it, because it's so quick. Just with all the mechanics, like there's so many things that can happen all the time, and you just really have to be on your toes. I'm just like training with Cam and trying to like learn everything that I can. It's a lot.
It is.
And
it really is.
Honestly, it's been kind of discouraging at times, but I'm still having fun with it, and I just think the game's really great.
Yeah, I feel that, and to follow up with that, I've honestly been discouraged at least once or twice while playing this game, and it's the whole time it's been like super fun, but then like it is just a lot. I've been practicing and I've been slowly getting better, and it's been really satisfying when something that you practice for an X amount of time, you'll finally pull it off. And I think right now I'm at that like halfway point where it's like I'm practicing all this stuff and pulling it off probably about 50% of the time in a match. So I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not going to let that stop me from practicing this game because it's just so cool.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That's where I'm at. I've been frustrated for sure at times, but it's just so cool that I want to continue and I want to learn it.
I would definitely say, just to go on record, that Cam is at a much better spot in this game than me right now.
I mean, I've gone online a little bit, but my record's not great.
Up next for the game, there's a lot to look forward to. DLC is about to start rolling out, and this coming weekend, or this past weekend when this episode comes out, Andy will be playable at EVO Japan.
Yeah, you guys will have already...
You'll have already played
known
Andy
what happens
and
at this point.
Seen Andy and touched Andy. How's Andy? Was he cool?
Are you looking forward to Andy?
I'm looking forward to Andy. I think this Andy's going to be spicy.
I think so. I'm really looking forward to Andy. I wasn't initially. I think he was just right in the middle for me in terms of like excitement level. But now I think at this point, aside from Mr. Big, he's like definitely the one I've got my eye on.
Cool.
I just want to see what they do with him.
Too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really interested, especially after playing so much Hokuto Maru recently. I just want to see, since they've already taken so much of Andy and given it to Hokuto Maru, what are they going to give to Andy? They're going to give him something new, right?
Yeah, Andy should get something.
He should get something new.
It's more than just the haircut, right?
Is he going to get something from Hokuto Maru? Is he going to have a wooden sword?
They're going to give Andy a weapon.
They're going to give Andy a sword.
Give Andy a gun.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because remember how Hokuto Maru used to have like multiple shurikens for his super?
Yeah.
They're just going to give Andy a super that's him shooting a bunch of bullets.
Yeah, he just uses like a BB Hood style like Uzi.
Yes.
Blast.
I think that's everything we have. Are we missing anything? That's all I've got.
No, I even got a BB Hood shout out in there. I think that's it.
Didn't expect that. Think we've gone too far.
Yeah.
You pass go. Do not wake up. Do not wake up.
Oh, God.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Wake Up 3. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at WakeUp3FGC, and you can find me, your host Molly, at Concut, that's KAHNKUT. Cam, where are you?
I am on Twitter and most other social media at Big Rock Online. This is Wake Up 3, signing off.
Bye. My personal entry into the contest is my Boysicle-inspired Salvatore. I'm proud of it.
Cool. So that's so that's color edit.